Locock. Young naturalist and campaigner, and I'm also from the Stafford Conservation Group, which has obviously organised the event here today, the event we had yesterday evening, and all that's going on. And it's been, the group has worked really well. There's been it's been really great, really successful, and it's great to see how well it has turned out. And obviously it hasn't just been us, we've had a lot of help from others, for example Diane and Harriet from Shropshire and Nigel from West Midlands. But I think Paul mentioned a lot of this earlier, but I wanted to let you know again. Anyway, so also thank you for everyone to come in as well for this really worthy cause. It's so important, and to each of us it's different. And of course from the badger, or if you want to, so wildlife in general, incorporated into our landscape, our heritage, from literature and folklore to how far it's been a part of our landscape for such a long time, and thousands and thousands of years in fact, and it's just part of our landscape, and for some of us our livelihood too, from day to day, and watching those and looking out for our local sets, or people who just don't see them every day, or they have never seen one yet, they come out to the events like this. So here in Staffordshire, we thinking about the Cull, we don't really have much, we're okay, we don't really have much of a threat at the moment. Perhaps if the policy continues in the next few years we could. However, so we've already spoken to local people as well, local authorities. So the Stafford Borough Council have been one to say that they wouldn't let culling on their land. That's only around Staffordshire. But then on the other hand, the Staffordshire County Council have said that would wait and see to see what happens. But obviously north of the county, is Cheshire, and obviously this is one of the counties which applied for, one of the 6 counties which applied for a new licence this year. And of course, obviously this is still unsure of what's going to happen and what's going to go on. Obviously we know, and so the hotspots around the Staffordshire area. So, but the members on our committee, I know Paul, he's done a lot for vaccinating, working with these farmers, trying to help them as well. So, and trying to prevent doing this vaccination work, and also trying to prevent a cull if it was in the future. However, we have got our work cut out quite a bit. I mean, especially with, not that you wouldn't anyway, but we've got the local NFU group, National Farmers Union, is quite active, and I think he's the chair, Jeremy Lowe. He's very determined to have a cull in Staffordshire. So much so, one of our chair, Paul, he was going round talking to farmers, and one of them said, "Oh, I've had this letter," and the letter was from Jeremy Lowe, which he sent round to all these farmers, basically saying, if the Stafford Badger Conservation Group come knocking on your door, basically just tell them to get lost, and what the vaccination wasn't worth it, and that we shouldn't be doing it, and he's really sort of determined to get a cull in Staffordshire. And so anyway, something more familiar and we deal with a lot, persecution. We have incidents within the county. We've had some this year, we have some every year, and obviously this is something which has been illegal since like the 1830s, but it's still something that goes on in the UK and here in Staffordshire as well. Fortunately though, we are really privileged and really great to have such a really good relationship with our local wildlife crime unit and the police in Staffordshire, and we work together against persecution. We go to meetings, whenever we have call outs, them working with us or us working with them, and also when they have events we help is promoting us to try and make the members of the public aware of what's going on and persecution that's happening. So eyes in the field, really making more people aware. And something else not really mentioned that much really, housing development as well, something that's that the group deals with a lot. So badger sets in areas where houses are being built, and there's quite a few little small holes around the county which are popping up, and it's really important. And I think to sum that point up, the group this year has been running for 30 years. I've only been sort of involved. I've been on the committee for a few months now, but they've done that work for they've done that work for 30 years now, and I think that's just brilliant, protecting these badgers and doing things for them over that time. And obviously another reason why we're here today for National Badger Week, to celebrate that. It's been a week of, as it been explained a lot today, but it's been a week of events running up and down the country, celebrating that the fantastic animal that it is, and in some cases taking away sort of that political entanglement and showing it for the species that it is. So and through this, engaging members of the public, doing it in public places like today, making them aware and attracting them, because that's what we need to engage in more people. Engaging more people, because we need this support for moving forward and obviously future protection as well. And something that I'm going to mention as well from a young person's perspective, young people too, obviously, with my opinion, is the most important target, to be targeting young people to know about what's going on, to know about badgers, and for the future as well. Obviously these are next generation, they're next generation conservationist campaigners, but then on the other hand they're also going to be next generation leaders and people who are going to be making decisions, and how does that relate to what's going on in our wildlife? So unfortunately though, I mean, I see this quite a lot, and it is really scary, the divide between nature and young people and children. There is such a big divide compared to sort of their parents' generation, them going out. I mean, children nowadays spend about half as amount of time a week out in the countryside than their parents did, and it's really quite scary. And if you think about it, those generations that spent more time outside were the ones that we're having trouble with now. We're trying to, for the environment's sake, and that we could have a generation coming forward which is even less in touch with the natural world and making decisions and being considerate. So it causes a lot of uncertainty for future wildlife protection, really, I think. And obviously talking about uncertainty, obviously what's happened obviously last 10 days with the EU referendum results. I mean, what's that going to result on our wildlife, natural world? I suppose it's quite unsure at the moment, but one thing that we know is what we've got to sort of be working together, whether that's individuals, small groups, organisations, NGOs, so forth, working together and making sure that the risks don't come out of control, we control them, and that we're also making progress, because that's the most important thing as well.